Alrighty. Looks like we're live here. Sorry about the delay, guys. Grandma called and yeah, we can't miss Grandma's phone call. It's Grandma's birthday. So what's up? Good evening, good evening, good evening. All right, that looks good. What's up? Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Uh we'll give it about 2 or 3 minutes here, and we're gonna go ahead and um start going over the news and get a real quick recap going here. So again, my grandma called, so you guys know the deal. We gotta pick up for grandma. What's up? Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I had a great day today. Um, Pretty good. Kroger dipped as predicted, so didn't really move the way that I wanted it to, but still did pretty good. All right, I think we got everything here. I'm gonna tag everybody again. Drop the link. I am live on YouTube right now, guys. If you guys want to go ahead and hop on, we're gonna go ahead and hit the news. Big day, big day. Crack a cold one. What's up? Good evening. Thank you guys for joining. Happy birthday to my grandma. I will relay that to my grandma. Going pretty good, Coors. All right. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's get to it. So, overall, and you guys probably can see, we had the S&P down 0.72%, chopped around our prediction. Mania and I, pretty much every admin has given you guys. Today we were predicting a red to green day. We got exactly that. Then we got a red, green, red. So we ended pretty much at the lows that we tapped previously. We saw the Nasdaq. That one was down around 0.28%, closing at new lows. We also saw the Russell, which actually climbed about 0.60%. We saw the Dow Jones down 0.56%. A couple of key headlines here, which of course, a lot of these, we did have Biden speak today. We didn't have really any jolting, which is of course the economic data we have tomorrow, which is jolts, but we didn't have any super dynamic economic data that came in today to kind of move the market in any one direction. But I do think the overall sentiment of the sanctions implied on Russia affecting our prices is definitely going to obviously uh, burden the sentiment that we currently have. So, um, 2 of the 11 sectors traded higher. We saw energy expanded 1.57%. Guys, if you don't follow, or if you guys haven't gone back and read some of the things that Top Shelf drops, If anybody knows energy, Top Shelf's your guy. He is a energy master, and very much somebody who I look to, even when people ask me questions about the energy sector. But the energy expanded about 1.57%. I know some of you guys were enjoying some of his calls, some of those over 100%. Discretionary climbed 0.21%. Consumer staples stumbled, 2.70%. Healthcare collapsed about 2.04%, and real estate retreated 0.89%. We sure do know that healthcare retreated because we shorted and have been in a short. So, of course, I did take a hedge. I gave you guys a clear hedge level for mRNA and just reviewing that trade. I happened to catch the bottom right around there. Um, I am still currently in a downside position on mRNA, and I'm still holding. But otherwise, we did get to play this one to the upside. Those hedges paid for almost the entirety of the trade. And I'm going to continue to play this as the contracts actually pay really, really well, especially if you and also provide a lot of security. But um, Apple hosted its peak performance today. If you guys have never played an event, it is not always the most fun, but we did see Apple pretty volatile today with the peak performance event. Apple closed around 1.17% down. Check out or we'll talk about that in just a second. So we did see Apple pop, of course, which it usually does go and test a lot of supply zones. Um, during these events. I myself learned a lesson on AMD that I will never forget. Um, as far as pennies, big movers, we did see our ICD increased about 40.5%, SPAQ 17.63%. And those were some of the top movers in that sector. So President Biden announced today that the U.S. would officially ban imports of Russian energy products in another sanction targeting Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Specifically, the U.S. will ban Russian oil, liquefied gas, and coal. The U.S. imported 8% of its oil from Russia, which of course isn't as big as some other countries, but for us, it's not as a large, sizable chunk. 8% is still a lot, though. Don't get me wrong. President Biden formally announced we are quote. We are banning all imports of Russian and oil, gas, and energy. That means Russian oil will no longer be acceptable at U.S. ports, and American people will deal another powerful blow to Putin's war machine. Howdy, what's up? President Biden, the energy crisis sent gas prices soaring to record highs today. Gas prices reached their highest average in the U.S. history today, hitting $4.17 per gallon of unleaded. Previous record set in July of 2008. I remember this very clearly, which was 4.10 a gallon. That figure rose to about 10 cents on Tuesday, and the White House has dubbed this price increase Putin's price hike as it relates to the Russian sanctions. Brent crude surpassed $130 a barrel today, gaining about 5.6%. Some analysts anticipated oil prices above $120 a barrel would prompt 10% inflation or more. How about that? That sucks. West Texas immediately jumped 5.3% to $125.65 a barrel. We'll keep close watch, of course, on that going forward. Let's see here. Of course, we have a plethora. Of course, yeah, we'll take a look at that chart here shortly. Don't forget, guys, we are, if you guys want, I am on YouTube Live. So please feel free to hop on there. Those of you on TikTok, links in the bio. Why the glass? The glass? What's the glass? That glass? I'm sorry. That's actually a good point. I should move that. I just bought this today, like, it's the best thing I've ever had in my life. Tesla, of course. Yeah, if you guys want to, those of you guys in the YouTube, if you're bored of me ranting already, you guys can drop your request Um, please do them obviously one at a time. That way everybody gets a turn, or at least has a chance. Um, anyway, so a couple of headlines in supply chain. But Russia's invasion is threatening another aspect of global commerce. War in Ukraine has estimated 200 ships stuck in the Black Sea, hosting a total of 3,500 sailors, according to the analyst done by Windward Ltd. This is the highest number of stranded cargo ships at sea since World War II. But ships being physically stuck at sea isn't the only issue. Ukraine supplies 16% of the world's total corn exports. Combined, Russia and Ukraine account for 30% of the wheat exports in the entire world. Crazy. Wheat prices across the globe have jumped 55% since the beginning of Ukraine's invasion. The shock to the global grain supply is the biggest supply shock since OPEC oil cuts in the 1970s. It means food shortages in the Middle East and Africa, inflation across the world. As ships continue to get stuck by Russian missiles off the coast of Ukraine, global supply issues are definitely a ripple effect from Ukraine's invasion to watch out for. Real quick, Lulu has shoes now, and that's it. That's the whole headline right there. I don't know why that was even on, but whatever. Stitch Fix had earnings fell 18.45% and extended trading after missing earnings projections and lowering guidance. Stitch Fix is down 41.85% on the year. Thank you for the roses. If you guys have requests and you guys here on TikTok, I take all requests on YouTube. So just comment in the YouTube. You can still watch here on TikTok, but make sure to drop that there. So I think that Kiki is making one of those. Thank you. I appreciate that. Potter, check out Neo. I will. That price target, that bearish price target I gave you guys months ago, coming to fruition. All right. By the way, a Chinese nickel company lost $8 million because of nickel prices. Absolutely insanity. So, SQ run. Let's see. Snap, please. Okay. For sure. All right. So, in review, by the way, guys, I am trying to get this $2,100 account that I am currently. We got up to about 2,600, I think. Hopped back and forth. I honestly was moving. Wasn't the greatest time to manage, but I've held my ground here above 2,000, which is great because a lot of times people blow their accounts. So I've held it there, and I am digging my heels in, and we're gonna push this to 5K. So we're gonna get there. I don't and cannot. If anybody wants proof, of course I'll show you guys. There's no deposits, so I haven't been inflating my account. I can't. We will ban me from making deposits because apparently if you don't like you're off a cent or something like that, or you pull it from the wrong account, they just ban you. So, whatever. So in review, Kroger. So yesterday I gave you guys a Kroger put play. This one did obviously move to the upside at the bell, but we did finally get that nice break that I was talking about a bit. At 57.25. So we broke 57.25, cruised down here, broke this 56.80 level that we wanted to break, and we are currently right above my price target of $55. One disappointing thing here is the contracts movement. Now, again, I'm in April, so for Kroger, I have April 1st, and I have a $50 put, and that's only if Kroger, that is my runner, right? I will continue to play Kroger, but this chop zone, I will not. Okay, so if you're either in position or you're not, because it can and will bounce here. It has seen, and again, just for those of you guys watching I'm not going to make this very long. Historically, when Kroger makes big pops, big pops, they are almost all the time completely retraced. Doesn't matter if it's earnings, doesn't matter what it is. If Kroger goes out of control, it just provides profit taking, or something of that nature for Kroger. So you guys can go back and back test this. But most super volatile pops for Kroger, and I get it. We're in new times, but at the end of the day, guys, one of the reasons that I took this play just to review is the large wick right here. This almost gravestone doji, easy analysis. Basically, you make a high. So first of all, not too long ago, at the end of February, you were trading around $45, and now towards the beginning of, or at the beginning of March, tapping 62.50. So if anything, I think $50 is a fair level to pull back to, and currently the 9-day moving average is at that 51.70 mark. But regardless, Kroger is on the watch list for tomorrow. So if you guys want to write that down tomorrow morning, I will go over my levels one more time, and let you guys know if I'm going to trade it or continue to trade it, and if not, why. So another one that I have been playing, and I honestly have been having a little bit more fun than I should have, is mRNA. This one's pretty fun, and by fun I mean pretty predictable. So as far as retracement levels, this one along, and I'm going to talk about Facebook here in a second because Facebook honestly uh, set up beautifully. This one key break. Now this is just kind of the way that the cookie crumbles, everybody. This was the first initial pop. I held my contract. We did flush. We hit a new low, 122.17. But one of the main things that we were talking about today that I was mentioning is that we could see, and more than likely needed to see, some type of bounce just on technicals. And that's exactly what we got. So we probably got short covering, and the same level that you break below, the ceiling becomes the floor, we broke above. And once we did that, I mentioned before I got off live that that was a place to take calls. I did just that. I did take a call. I went a couple steps outside of the money. I spent a little bit of more cash, but I did stay long. I stayed in March 18th. And I can't tell you guys how calming it is to not be playing weeklies. It is absolutely the worst thing you can do to yourself as you're learning. And I'm just gonna interject that into just all the time as much as I can, because I just want people to really understand that. My, I would say when you look at the grand total of money that I put in and then lost, right? So how many? I would say maybe 5 or 6 times I would say, an account to we'll say a median of 8K from 500 and then blow it. So, if you do quick math there, I lost that's a lot of money, right? And through that whole thing, one of the main lessons that I learned was that if I can't handle weeklies, if I mentally cannot handle weeklies, and my track record is red with them, that I shouldn't play them. And it's that simple. So just throwing that out there. That was unsolicited advice. I apologize. Um, mRNA, this one, of course, I did talk about this one tomorrow, possibly bouncing. 15-minute candle did close right around support. 1, 2, 3. We could go see a pop back up to 131. If that does happen, watch for mRNA to potentially go up and retest the levels around 138.40 or even possibly 140 itself. So anyway, Facebook, next one on the watch list. Also, another one I posted right here. Those of you guys, textbook bull flag. Watch the 15-minute, nice and calm, no reason to panic because you're watching the 15-minute. This candle here, if you guys will go look at the Discord, I Your phone is mirrored on TikTok and it looks backwards. I am sorry. Thank you, my friend. Perfect. Okay. I am also on TikTok or on YouTube for those of you guys on TikTok. Um, which indicators do I use? I'll talk about that in just a second. So, real quick, now I wasn't able to like give you guys a contract to take. Wasn't at my desk. Um, but this one was a perfect bull flag. A lot of the times and the reason why I left these lines here is because this is really, really important to pay attention to. When you flush like you did the other day on Facebook and the first place you bounce, that should be marked immediately, right? Especially with a ray that will continue across the board. Because if a stock is flushing with that much vigor, the first place it bounces is obviously a place to take note. That's 190, 190.50, 190.70, wherever you want to call it. That's where we get a bounce. That bounce is the same place that we 1, 2, 3, 4 times rejecting while we build this bear flag and flush new lows. And so, all that being said, you see all of that momentum, you break that low, right? You do get a big bounce, but you still flush back down. On this second bounce, if it doesn't break that low and these 15-minute candles are bullish, by all means, start looking at the same level that you broke before in order to take it to the upside. So, this now, of course, it busted past this, held it, and then flushed back down with the rest of the market. That is a bull trap. That is a bull trap right there, right? Buy the dip? No, sir. But this did make for a really good option contract play where you got a big, big push, solid 15-minute green candle that convinced every new retail or guru furu that they should hold because it definitely has more upside. And then it didn't. It flushed. So Facebook to $35. I'll endorse that. um, Zuckerberg. If he's ever found guilty of treason, they should force him to work at Sweet Baby Ray's. It actually might be a dream come true for him. Oops. It's like a reward. Anyway. Facebook, mRNA, Snapchat, with the remainder of the gap. So this one, guys, I love it. I told you guys that I wasn't going to take it because I thought it was going to bounce. And guess what? There we go. We got our bounce. We got our rejection. And guess what? Now we get to go watch the same levels that we broke before, $30.80, right? Of course, the low, $29.50. But now we can start eyeballing the remainder of the gap and the remaining price targets, which is $28 on the dot. Break $28, you got a gap to fill at 26. Actually, excuse me, 24.86. So we could see some extended downside. So Snapchat definitely on the watch list tomorrow. But anyway, that's about it from me. As far as my watch list, I like Kroger. I like Facebook. I like mRNA. And I like Snapchat. Now that I like to keep my watch list down to 4, but I always set a couple of like SQ. SQ has good moves. Good moves. It's good moves. Has a good setup. Could potentially give us some decent moves. Microsoft, Apple, always alert set, always ready to trade those. But anyway, that's my watch list. I'll go over the levels tomorrow morning, and we'll go from there. So anyway, those of you guys who have been dropping your request here, thanks to similar KRT more had a 35% on 56. Yeah, I did fill that gap. So, or I mean, I did add a weekly to Kroger today. So. Is it too late to get in Snap? No, I'll be trading tomorrow and we'll go over Snap. So thank you for the panda. If you guys have any requests, I'm about to start charting for people. If you guys have any requests, please just go. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube, I'm live every day on YouTube where you can actually see my screen and stuff like that. But please drop your request there. It's just going to be easier for me to see it and it keeps it in chronological order. All right, so the first chart that I see tonight is VRTX. What that? Vertex Pharmaceuticals. I already have a red flag. Red flags everywhere. Alrighty. So anytime I see kind of a smooth or kind of relaxed pullback like this, right? Now, this isn't for sure at all. But if you do reject, which obviously, if you zoom in here, you can see there's obviously some respect given here. You do go and attempt to break the same level. That's 42 or $43. And there is a little bit of a remainder of a gap on VRTX. Now, me personally, I'm not a fan of pharmaceutical stocks. I don't play them unless there is a specific news article or something. But anytime I see this setup, inevitably I'm going to be thinking potential rejection, especially when you get this nice curve. This could end up being a cup and handle. Personally, I think this handle is pretty sloppy, but if you do continue to break to the downside, I would say a good mark is 237.33. Because I'm not really familiar with this, I'll throw the pivot points up, and I'm on the money. Look at that, 236. So I was right around there. I had 237.30. This is 236 even. So below 236 candle close, I'm sure on the hourly, that's going to signify a rejection. And at that point, you can start eyeballing, which I'm not 100% on at the moment, but I would speculate, and I'm looking for a confluence here. There's the confluence. So we've got this pivot point here, S1, that's 229. That is what I'm looking at as a potential support. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the point of control here is at 232.82, and there's a big wick off of it. There's also this clean and obvious support. That's let's see. So you've got 234.50 and you've got 232.82. So two levels to watch out for. So yeah, guys, if you are on YouTube right now, and if you don't mind, I would appreciate if you guys leave a like down below. It does help the channel, so I appreciate that. What the hell was that? Music. Guys, any request, all requests gonna be taken on YouTube. So hit the link in my bio. That's perfect. Okay. Um, so anyway, VRTX. Let's go to take a look at Tesla. It's a little loud. Okay. So we're gonna go back out to the daily here. Now we know where Tesla is at as far as, and I'm not 100% here, but I think that this is a correction, right? I think this whole gap ordeal was just another profit taking opportunity. Um, the channel remains. This is I would even say, backed up as a standard deviation channel. We'll take a look on whether or not that's valid. That's valid. That's absolutely valid. So 100% standard deviation channel coming in clutch here. There is possibly an extension to this channel. I'm not going to factor that in at the moment. We're going to leave it as is, which is right there. No, that is it. Shit, look at that. Huh. Okay, so that is a really tall deviation channel, and I guess that set my range. So right here, look at that linear regression line. Look at how well that holds the stock down. So today you got to bounce, but you did end up flushing and pulling back. I would say a few stocks did hold kind of really well, like Tesla. So 9-day moving average usually for me always serves as a bounce level. Usually is going to be curving up. If it's near, especially on the hourly, if it's near the price, a lot of the times you're gonna look for a bounce. But not to mention, it's also at the psychological number of 820. Below 820, I have an obvious level and S1 pivot point at 80, yeah, 809. It's gonna be 810, 809.50, somewhere in that range. Um, I would also mention that on the lower time frame, you did have this downtrend. That's a rejection. So tomorrow, guys, Tesla above 848 and 850, you could see a push up and a tap of this regression line, which also could be a 860 or 856 retest. But if not, and we do continue with the trajectory that, right, the snowball effect that kind of feels like it's picking up right now, um, I would go ahead and say 805 and inevitably $800. You lose those levels. You've got 872. There's a reason why there's a wick there. You can see there's a wick there as well. So that's kind of what I would be eyeballing for Tesla. Um, Overall, I think that the White House coming out and saying that there's a long, hard road ahead um, is almost a strong-handed admission that things are going to get really rough because everything is being disrupted. Everything. I mean it. Like literally everything about everything is getting it has is experiencing some sorts of disruption. And that's not good for the market, especially a market that's dealing with inflation. So I think that is almost, oh, the data almost doesn't even matter. The data, of course, matters always, but it's only short term because at the end of the day, if more people are working but still can't afford anything because inflation continues to rise, gas prices are insane, obviously that's a problem. So, um, all in all, if I was just to give you a definitive sentiment, I think that at least we touched 790. Um, and there is definitely the potential for continuation to the downside. We don't really have anything economic wise to look forward to until the economic calendar until what was that? Stop voting Democrat. That has nothing to do with anything. Absolutely not. I feel like I really was able to understand the entire market in general when or really, my mind and entire innocence that I had, whatever I had left, was totally stripped by learning about the stock market. It was kind of depressed for a little while after learning about the in and outs and the fact that both sides, your Republicans are buying heavily Democratic and liberal companies as investments. They are investing in these companies, and your liberal and Democratic companies still buying weapon LMTs, those type of things. These people are here for profits. Somebody told me something a long time ago. I'm not going to get too deep into it. Everybody has a price, and I don't know, I can't confirm nor deny nor accurately comment, but there's obviously something going on with people who are in Congress, in places of power, and with corporations, and knowing what's going to be coming. And I'll leave it at that. Anyway, Um, so we do have March 10th with high impact data. That's CPI, core CPI, initial claims, continuing claims, EAI, natural gas inventories, and treasury budget. This is likely when we will see a break of the consolidation that we're building. And that's one last comment here, or one comment that I want to leave, is the other day when we had that really awesome break to the downside, and Tesla gap filled and hit my target, and everybody was making bank. That only came after weeks, not maybe in weeks, but days of consolidation or days of up and down, back and forth. And so remember that when you hit a big one or you see a definitive break on a high time frame setup and then it hits your target and it also hits a supply zone, it doesn't go through immediately unless there's something like fraud, like an and you'll know. But if not, then always be prepared for that to bounce and to chop and to consolidate before continuing to go down. So don't put yourself in a situation where you're playing weeklies right before you know you're going to hit a support. So one of the reasons that I didn't take Snapchat today. So AMD is the next chart. Um, so quintessential H pattern here. You've got the $100 retest at the bottom. Um, It did bounce, but just like everything else, saw itself pulling back. It's holding this level. So if you zoom in just a little bit, there's a lower time frame level right about there, and that's 104.50 and 104 or 105.25. Um, that's obviously, and I'm not sure where it's at in extended hours trading. Looks like it's slightly bounced, but still not looking good. Doesn't really matter. Tomorrow matters. Uh, if we do gap down, and see, like 103, that gap up and gap fill, that trajectory could lead us up for another tap of 110. If we do hit 110 one more time, I would imagine that we're going to go and retest the 113s and 114s. Overall, looking at the daily, looking at this setup right here, I can't imagine AMD totally reversing from here and going up. I personally see AMD down around 95 and even possibly as low as 85 and $89. So I would say 97.50 and $95 are is a price zone to watch out for AMD. So yeah, I don't mean to, because politicians connect people's ways of life. I respect if you're conservative, if you're liberal, if you want to do what you want out in the woods, and it's obviously within reason, not no big creep. Like I get that. That's what America's for. But as far as politicians, people putting my faith in another human being, knowing what I know, it would be totally illogical for me to believe that these individuals truly want me to be successful and truly want me to, no. I mean, I'm just going to end it that way. Um, so I mean, I'm just, I think that they keep a fine balance of making things look good. I just saw something, about cryptocurrency. Um, we need to regulate cryptocurrency. It's bad. Cryptocurrency is bad because we can't make money from it. It's not regulated, and therefore it's bad. And until we can make profits from it and make sure that you can't and continue the system that exists today, then we don't endorse it. But once we do, we endorse it. And then everybody who is in cryptocurrency gets amped up when they see that major institutions are getting involved. Obviously, I mean financial. So, and I don't mean like Bank of America. I mean like trading institutions. So, I can't find your pivot point on TradingView. It should be just traditional. Pivots traditional. So, pivots. Pivot point standard right there. Pivot point standard. No one with good morals gets into politics. I could concur. I don't think so. Yeah, I just want to be a human, guys. At this point, I just life's crazy out there, so just want to enjoy what I got, I guess, and try and be really, really nice to people, help people, and hopefully change the system at some point. So, um, anyway, looking at AMD, just this is a huge support, huge support. So below $100, uh, you got the 95 and $91 price target. So next one that we got is SQ. Again, I'm pulling all of these from YouTube. So SQ, disappointingly, and of course, Big Stepper crushes these things, but and he did play SQ, but SQ did fill all of its gap. It sucked because it was at 107 and then closed at 97. It was a $10 move in one candle. Absolutely bonkers. 93.55 gap filled. Personally, I'm just gonna give it to you level wise. Watch it above 107, same level that you broke, 107.60, and a push up to the pivot point at 114.80. Um, he did have the whole ribbon crossover. So we could have another green day as there is no data coming in, and then potentially get a washout on Thursday and Friday. So we'll see how that plays out. But personally, I still see Square tapping lows. Excuse me. Yeah, I truly think that every single politician should be put under a thorough investigation by citizen selected team of legal representation, like representatives, uh, that have their bank accounts and like, I don't know. You'd have to like put them in jail too. You'd have to have the whole because there's just so much corruption. These people own everything. They know people. I mean, it's I don't know. It's a complicated subject. I could have a talk show on that, but I'd probably yeah no. Anyway, tomorrow above 105.50 for SQ, and you could see a point of control retest 112, and below S1 97.37, and of course 92 the previous low of day, which is going to be 93.75. You could see that new low at the S2, which is 87. Excuse me, 87.80. So about six March 25th puts on the spike today. If I wanted to buy weekly calls for a hinge, what sizing should I be using in relation? So that depends. There's multiple ways to hedge. There's scalping to hedge, which scalping we're using higher capital. I'll tell you what makes me more comfortable. When I use a contract that is at least 2 weeks out or a week out, um, and even if it's more expensive, actively hedging it with that contract. I'm getting tired, guys. So that's one way to do it. Uh, if you are not able to be at your desk and trading this contract as you want, which obviously you're hedging within reason, you should still have a stop loss. Um, if you do enter the any type of upside position, you can of course use a far out of the money weekly call just in case, or you can go a week out, and when you see that break, you can trade it with a. So for me today, I actually bought a contract that was, yeah, I will. I actually bought a contract that was shorter in expiration and almost worth the exact same amount as the previous contract because I only had one. And here's how I saw it. My other contract was out another week, and the contract that I was playing, yeah, I love this market. I do. Um, and the contract that I was playing, was a long expiration. So while my shorter expiration, maybe a little bit more expensive or right around, the same price, is going to increase in value very quickly, if I'm moving in the correct direction, which that's what makes me so confident in taking things is once I enter and we're moving, all I have to do is just set stop losses behind me that are based off supply and demand and leave it at that. So I mean, and again, I say this all the time. It's case by case when it comes to hedges. There's so many different ways to hedge, and there's so many different position sizes. If you're out 6 months, maybe use a 2 month hedge. Maybe if you're out next month, maybe you use next week's hedge. So, and then sizing, 5 to 2. If you're in what you said, you got 6 mRNA puts. I would say 6 to 2. Um, and as far as premium is a safe place to go. Um, but over that, of course, you would need to increase your expiration. So pivot points are basically finding some areas of supply and demand. Just like I find levels, it's finding levels too, based off of the same thing. Thank you guys, those of you on YouTube, for hitting that like button. I appreciate that. Did Ian? Oh, hold on. Sun Run. Okay, perfect. Check this out, Tony. We got 30/50, perfect rejection, R1 supply. Top of supply, boom, right there. We're gonna go ahead and call that 35 bucks. Okay, so 35 bucks, R2. So basically, right, you reject that. If tomorrow you move back down and you hit 28.35, then there's a potential that you're gonna reject. But otherwise, if you continue up, watch for this top of supply 35.50 to get hit, or at least at a minimum of $34. So it actually looks really good. I would say, I mean, just looking at the main supports above you, $38 seems heavily logical. $40 seems kind of a crapshoot, but depends on the market. Um, there is the potential that you're going for a retest, and that Sun Run is in a really large falling wedge type setup. So leave a like for Grandma's birthday. Yeah, do it for Grandma's birthday. 2 USO bros, please. If I don't catch your ticker tonight, I'll catch it tomorrow. Um, but I'm going over the list right now, so. I'm not going to be able to take all of them, but I will be starting to wake up around 5 o'clock, 5:30 again, relatively soon. So you guys are going to be, those of you in the Discord are going to be able to meet up with me even earlier. So, all right, I'm just going to put it this way, guys. With the current craziness going on with Russia, this can continue higher. More companies ban Russia, this can go higher. So all that being said, you did get a doji or kind of like a I don't even that's barely a doji, kind of over one, but I would just be looking at the move above the body at the top, which is 89. Um, And honestly, anytime I see a candle like this, I start thinking range. So oftentimes we're gonna start range trading or range bound trading. Um, and again, this is also something that uh, is based on the news, which the news is unpredictable, and I can't do a whole lot of putting a stamp on something as a for sure thing unless it actually does like goes along or continues with the same sentiment that it had in the first place. So, and with this Exxon, in my opinion, I just, especially with the volume that you had today, I honestly think that if anything, you either A, need to pull back, and that's why you saw today is they let it spike up, and then it provided a great place to take profit. So, I already did Tesla. I did Tesla. Gotta lay it down. Yeah, I'm about to lay it down myself. I'm pretty sleepy, so. All right. So Airbnb, which actually ended up getting a huge bounce. Why did it get a bounce? Guy, look at the level. Look at 131. I didn't even look at this thing today, but damn, the fibs came in handy today. 131.73. Perfect bounce. So there you go. That's the level to lose. You need to lose 131.73. 131 60, somewhere in that range. Um, but in fact, you did get a big bounce. You nearly engulfed the previous day's candle. So all that being said, watch Airbnb above 153 or 152.75. Honestly, this thing still doesn't look super great for any like spectacular upside play at the moment, and could continue to the downside. That looks like it is a resistance, and that right there looks kind of like the setup that it has at the moment. Not for sure, but it does look like the kind. At least this as a resistance is 100% for me. So anyway, pivot points right there, 147.50. Which again, we would definitely need to break that in order to go and hit this point of control and then continue to the upside. So of course. All right, guys, I'm going to do a few more. My eyes are getting really, really heavy right now. I don't want to pass out on camera. That would be unfortunate for everybody. So, um, Oh, you're holding out on me. It's a nice gap. All right, this has a gap to 29.61. Below that, you've got a key level at 20. Oh, this almost looks like Snap too. You got a key level at 28.95, and another one below that at 28.40. So, um, I could see this potentially being your support, and if that's true, then I think you hit 29.50. Portillo's? Are you talking about like food? DDD has a bear flag. I agree with the $12.35 price target. Oh shit. Wait, is that a gap? Is that a gap? That's a gap. Watch a gap. 11, 11.25. 11.25 on DDD. All right. Got a gap to the upside too at $60.68. And then another gap to fill at 89.66. I don't know. Personally, I think that it's just bounced off a pivot point. I'm still short on it, and I think that we can get it down into the at least the even 40s, potentially. So, all right, guys. I think that's it for me. My brain is currently deteriorating every second, and my eyes are extremely droopy. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. So I had to go shopping. I just spent pretty much my whole life, all of the gains that I made today, on food for the animals. So um, beat great day. Excited for tomorrow. I'll be here bright and early. See you guys at 8:30 on YouTube. Um, Usually a little bit early on TikTok. So if you guys want to know when I'm gonna hop on, I'll usually tag you guys in the Discord. So make sure you have the announcements set up. If you guys don't follow Manny Trading with Manners, that is the next giveaway that we're gonna be doing, and more than likely we're gonna be doing a 6-month giveaway for the Discord for someone who follows Manny. So if you guys don't know Manny's channel, I'm going to show you right here. Trading. Oops. Right here. Subscribe. Everybody subscribe to this guy right here. Absolutely amazing. Trading with Manners. Check it out. All right, guys. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks for tuning in. We'll get the rest of these tickers that you guys had requested. If I didn't get to them, we'll get to them tomorrow. But otherwise, have a wonderful evening. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning.